Men over 60, here's a hard truth. Pills make you dependent. But nature can make you dangerous again. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the food's so powerful. It quietly rebuilt the confidence of thousands of men without a prescription, without a side effect, without anyone knowing, and it's probably already in your kitchen. What if I told you the reason you feel weaker, softer, and less like yourself isn't your age at all? It's the lie you've believed, the one that says this is just part of getting old. You didn't choose to lose your strength. You were told to expect it. You were told it's normal to wake up without energy, without confidence, without that fire that once made you feel unstoppable. But what if all of that wasn't true? What if the real problem isn't your age, but what's missing from your daily routine? You see, most men over 60 were never given the full story. They were handed pills. They were told to accept decline. But behind the scenes, quietly, some men are waking up feeling like it's 1985 again, not because they're on medication, but because they found something their body already knew how to use, a natural trigger, a forgotten signal buried deep in your system, waiting to be turned back on. And no, this isn't about magic. It's about science, real, measurable, blood flow enhancing. Biology that's been ignored for decades. You're not broken. You're not done. Your body hasn't given up on you. It's just been waiting for you to send the right signal. And in the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly what that signal is, how it works, where it comes from, and why it can restore blood flow in ways even doctors don't always understand. Before we go there, let me ask you something, You remember the mornings when you woke up ready? Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, like you were charged for the day. You didn't doubt yourself. You didn't need help. You didn't have to explain or apologize. You just were. That man is still inside you. He's just waiting. This video isn't about pretending to be 25 again. It's about refusing to feel like 85 when you don't have to. It's about showing your body that you're still in charge. So if something inside you, even a tiny voice, is whispering that it's not over, that there must be more, you're going to want to see this through. Because what comes next isn't hype. It isn't another pill. It's the most overlooked natural fix for poor circulation and low confidence, and it might already be in your kitchen. You've tried silence, you've tried waiting, you've tried pretending. Now it's time to try something different and reclaim what's yours. Keep watching. You wake up, but something feels off. Not just your energy, your entire sense of self. You sit on the edge of the bed, stretch your legs, and pretend everything's fine. But deep down, there's a silence you don't talk about. A stillness that didn't used to be there. You remember when mornings meant power, confidence, readiness. Now they feel like a quiet apology. But what if that silence wasn't age? What if it was a warning? Most men over 60 think this is normal. That fading. Strength, softness in the morning, and a quiet disconnection from intimacy are just a part of getting older. But that's not the truth. The truth is more scientific and more hopeful. Because what's really happening isn't about getting old, it's about blood flow. It's about a molecule called nitric oxide, which your body used to produce easily in your 20s. It kept your blood vessels relaxed, your circulation strong, and your performance reliable. But as you age, especially past 60, nitric oxide drops. And when that drops, everything else does too. Now, here's what no one told you. Nitric oxide can be restored. Naturally, no pills, no gimmicks, no side effects. Just a forgotten biological switch that still exists inside you, waiting to be turned back on. Your body doesn't need to be rewired, it just needs to be reminded. Think back. Remember that one summer when you felt invincible? Maybe you were in your 30s, maybe 40s. You walked into a room and owned it. You had certainty. You didn't second guess yourself. That version of you isn't gone. He's asleep. And this decline you feel? It's not permanent, it's a signal. A nudge. A whisper that something needs to change. This is the part no one talks about. Not your doctor, not your friends, not even your partner. Because it's hard to admit when something so personal begins to fade. But ignoring it doesn't help. And pretending won't bring it back. What will? Is information, awareness, action.in. The next few minutes will show you what foods, what habits, and what routines can reignite nitric oxide levels safely and naturally. And more importantly, we'll remind you that this story isn't over. It's just entering a new chapter. So take a breath. Let your shoulders drop. You don't have to prove anything to anyone, but you do owe something to yourself. Not because you're broken, but because you deserve to feel alive again. Let's begin. You walk through the grocery store, passing shelves filled with boxes, bottles, and colorful packaging, and you never realize that one of the most powerful tools for restoring your blood flow is sitting quietly in the chocolate aisle. Not candy, not sugar-loaded junk, but real, bitter, powerful dark chocolate, the kind your grandfather probably never heard about and your doctor never mentioned. Because this isn't just a treat, it's a tool. A natural, science-backed weapon. For men over 60 who want to reclaim their blood flow and their confidence. Now think about this. You've been told for years that the answer lies in prescriptions, in blue pills, in medical procedures. But what if the real solution was simpler, older, and actually pleasurable? The secret is flavonoids, plant-based compounds found in cacao, the main ingredient in true dark chocolate. When you eat chocolate with 85% cacao or higher, you're not indulging, you're fueling. These flavonoids activate nitric oxide production in your blood vessels, causing them to relax, widen, and deliver more blood exactly where it's needed. Not in theory, in reality. Harvard-backed studies show this effect can begin with just a stitch. One small piece a day, but here's the part no one tells you. This isn't about getting back at life. It's about reconnecting with it. Imagine having dinner, finishing your meal, and then breaking off one square of rich, dark chocolate. Not as a guilty pleasure, but as a ritual. A sign that you're not giving up, that you're choosing a natural way forward. One that doesn't depend on refills or warnings or side effects. Just a quiet shift in routine. That could change everything, and you don't need to explain it to anyone. Not your friends, not your family. This moment is just for you. For the man who spent his life building, supporting, giving. Now it's your turn to receive. To heal. To restore. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you did something that felt small but meant everything? Not a grand gesture. Just a quiet, powerful move that reminded your body, I still care. That's what this is. That's what this piece of dark chocolate becomes, a signal that you're still in the game. This isn't about pretending you're young again. It's about refusing to feel old before your time. So stay with me because what's coming next will show you exactly how to use this ancient plant in a modern way. And by the time this video ends, you might never look at chocolate the same again. You've heard of chocolate as a dessert. But today, you'll hear about it as a tool, a biological tool that's helping men over 60 restore blood flow without a single pill. And this isn't some internet rumor or health gimmick. It's real, peer-reviewed science. The kind that changes how you view your own body and how your body performs. Let's simplify this. When you eat dark chocolate, true dark chocolate with 85% cacao or more, you're not just eating, you're activating. Inside that chocolate are flavonoids, plant compounds that unlock something powerful in your blood. They stimulate nitric oxide, the molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax, open up, and carry more oxygen-rich blood through your system. Imagine your arteries like a tunnel. Over time, that tunnel narrows, stiffens, and collapses. But these flavonoids are like skilled workers showing up with flashlights, tools, and blueprints. They wake up the tunnel. They open the path. They bring your circulation back online. And here's where it gets even more interesting. In a clinical study published in the journal Circulation, participants who consumed high flavanol cocoa daily saw an 11% improvement in blood flow within a few days. Not months. Not years, days. That's the kind of number doctors usually hope to see from medication. But here it's coming from a humble cacao bean. Now, this isn't candy we're talking about. This isn't the sugary milk chocolate bar at checkout. This is real, rich, slightly bitter dark chocolate, the kind that doesn't spike your blood sugar, but instead speaks directly to your blood vessels. And the more you know about what it's doing, the more empowering it feels to include it in your routine. But let's get personal. You've probably felt it, that slow decline. Not just in the bedroom, but in your energy, your drive, your identity. It starts small, skipping intimacy, avoiding mirrors, making excuses. And suddenly you start believing the decline is permanent. But it's not. It's chemical, it's biological. And it's reversible. So next time you reach for a health solution, remember this story. The story of a man who didn't need a prescription, he just needed to restore a molecule his body once made in abundance. The story of nitric oxide, of circulation, of control. Now think of someone you trust, a friend, a brother, someone who's also over 60. Wouldn't you want them to know this too? Maybe that's your sign, maybe that's your move. Because sometimes helping yourself starts with helping someone else. And the best part, you're not waiting for results. Your body's listening now. It just needed the right message and a little flavonoid to deliver it. Ray was 64 when he looked in the mirror and said, "Maybe this is just how it ends." A retired firefighter, once proud of his strength and stamina, now relying on pills that offered less and less each month. He didn't like it. He didn't trust it. But he didn't know there was another way until a quiet moment at breakfast changed everything. It started small. One morning, instead of a sugary cereal or another forgettable multivitamin, Ray added a square of 85% dark chocolate next to his coffee, not because someone told him to. Just a small tip he saw buried in an article online. Flavonoids, nitric oxide, blood flow. It sounded simple, harmless, maybe even ridiculous, but he figured, what did he have to lose? Day 1, nothing noticeable. Day 2, still the same. But on day 3, something shifted. He felt a little more awake, not just mentally, physically. His hands felt warmer. His steps felt stronger. On day 7, he got up to use the bathroom before dawn, and for the first time in years he stopped and realized he'd woken up. Hard, not halfway. Not almost fully. And that moment didn't just change his morning, it changed his mindset. Because what Ray realized in that second was something every man over 60 needs to hear. It's not over. It's never over unless you decide it is. His problem wasn't age, it wasn't failure, it was blood flow. And the body, when given the right tools, can still respond like it remembers. Now here's the part that matters. Ray didn't tell anyone, not his friends. Not even his doctor. This win was his. Quiet, personal, powerful. It reminded him of the man he was before the pills, before the fear, before the silence. If you're a man watching this, ask yourself something. When was the last time you felt like your body surprised? You in a good way? When was the last time you gave yourself the chance to believe you're not finished? This isn't about chocolate. It's about possibility. About waking up and discovering your best moments might not be behind you. About realizing that nature gave you tools long before pharmaceutical companies gave you excuses. And if you're thinking, this sounds too simple, just remember, simplicity is often what works. You've been overloaded, overprescribed, and overlooked. But Ray, he just gave his body a nudge. One square, one habit, one silent win. You're not broken. You're just waiting for your own story to start. Maybe today is that day. You've been told you need pills, that your best years are behind you, that softness is normal, that fading desire is just a part of aging. But what if none of that is true? What if the silence around real solutions isn't accidental, but intentional? Think about it. There's no billion-dollar patent in a square of dark chocolate. No commercial on TV promoting nitric oxide from a grocery store. No pharmaceutical rep knocking on doors to sell you cacao powder. Why? Because there's no profit in what nature already gave you for free. Big pharma isn't evil, but it is business. And business depends on repeat customers. Pills that treat symptoms, not causes. Prescriptions that manage decline, not reverse it. You pop a tablet, feel a flicker of relief, and come back tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. That's a customer. Not a cure, but what if the real fix doesn't come in a bottle? What if it comes in your kitchen? What if the blood vessels that once carried you through life's best moments are still there, just waiting for a signal? One that doesn't come from a pharmacy, but from your plate? Flavonoids in dark chocolate aren't a trend. They've been studied in clinical labs. They increase nitric oxide. That nitric oxide opens blood vessels. Wider vessels means stronger flow. Stronger flow means better performance, not just in bed, but in life. It's real, measurable, and ask yourself, why do you feel like your options shrink with age? Why do you feel like your masculinity is tied to a prescription? Why do you believe decline is inevitable? Who told you that, and what did they have to gain? You've lived decades, built a family, fought through failures. You've overcome more than you even remember. And now you're being told your strength is gone unless you buy it back. That doesn't sound like aging. That sounds like marketing. It's time to unlearn the fear. It's time to rethink what power looks like. No, chocolate isn't magic. But when combined with motion, with breath, with belief, it can be the beginning of something bigger. The spark before the fire. The crack in the wall. You don't have to believe this right now. But tonight, when you're brushing your teeth, look in the mirror and ask yourself one thing. Have I actually tried everything? Because if you haven't tried what they won't sell you, maybe, just maybe, the truth was never broken. Just hidden. You wake up. Quiet house, stiff back, but not where it counts. You walk to the bathroom, glance at yourself, and something deep inside whispers, "This isn't me." You remember the man who once felt alive before his feet hit the floor. Now, just silence. But what if one small change could break that silence? Let's talk about a simple morning habit. No prescriptions, no awkward appointments. Just one square of dark chocolate, not the sweet, milky stuff. I mean 85% cacao or higher. The kind that's bitter because it's powerful. Hidden inside is a compound called flavanol, clinically proven to boost nitric oxide, which opens up your blood vessels like flipping a switch. And that switch? It sends blood where you've been wishing it would go again. Here's how you do it. Tomorrow morning, before you eat anything else, just one square. Let it melt in your mouth. Let it signal your body that something different is starting. Then move. Not a workout, just a walk around the block. Or even just around the house. That gentle movement, it pushes that blood flow even further. Think of it like turning the key after charging the battery. Now, if you want to supercharge it, step into the morning sun. 5 minutes is enough. That sunlight hits your skin and tells your body to release even more nitric oxide. More flow, more power, no pills, no waiting rooms. No side effects. I'm not asking you to believe in magic. I'm asking you to try something that costs less than your morning coffee and might give you back a piece of yourself that you thought was gone forever. If you're still listening, it means something inside you is waking up. And that's not coincidence. That's instinct. Your body remembers what it used to feel like, and it wants that back. So instead of scrolling past, go to your kitchen and check your pantry. Do you have the courage to try one square? You don't need to tell anyone. This moment is just between you and you. But here's a small challenge. If you feel even 1% different tomorrow morning, send this video to a friend who needs hope too. That's how change begins. Quietly, privately, powerfully. You tell yourself it's just age. That it's normal to feel tired, soft, disconnected. That intimacy isn't that important anymore. But the truth, something's changed. You feel it in the mornings or don't. You feel it in the way you avoid her eyes, in the way you hesitate to reach for her hand. And the danger isn't just in the silence between you and her. It's inside your blood. When blood stops flowing where it should, your body sends warnings, softer erections, colder hands, a pulse that feels distant. But you ignore them, not out of weakness, out of habit, out of fear, out of not knowing there's another way. But what if these small signals weren't just physical? What if they were the body's way of saying, I'm still here, don't forget me? Low circulation doesn't just affect your bedroom. It puts pressure on your heart, literally. The same restricted blood flow that stops an erection can silently increase your risk of heart disease. That's not guesswork, it's science. And still, millions of men look away. Because facing it means admitting it's happening. But what's worse, facing it or losing it all piece by piece? And the emotional cost. That's the part no one talks about. When a man stops feeling like a man, everything shifts. Confidence, connection, even conversation. You laugh less. You sit in more silence. You start to fade in ways no one else can see, but you can feel it every single day. Now imagine the opposite. Waking up and feeling something again. Not just physically, but mentally. The quiet confidence of knowing your blood is moving. That you're not done. That age didn't win. That you're still in control. And the best part? It doesn't start with a prescription. It starts with a decision. One change, one habit, one moment of saying, not yet, I'm not done yet. Think about someone who loves you. A partner, a son, a granddaughter. They still see the man you were. They want you strong, not because of ego. Because of presence, because of pride. That strength begins with blood, and blood begins to move when you choose to move first. So, as you listen, don't just watch this video. Let it be the start of something. Stand up, stretch, step outside, feel the air. Feel your skin. Remind your body that it's not done. Remind yourself. And if this message speaks to you, share it. Not just with someone else, but with the version of you that still believes in better days. You spent your life showing up for others. Waking up early, working late, paying bills, fixing things, protecting people, you've done it all. But in the process, you forgot someone. You, your needs, your energy, your confidence. You didn't mean to. Life just moved fast. And you kept putting yourself second, third, last. But what happens when you hit 60 and suddenly your body slows down? Not just physically, but emotionally too. You wake up and don't feel the same strength. You look in the mirror and don't see the same fire. You feel it in your bones, in your breath, in the silence between you and her. And it scares you even if you never say it out loud. But here's the truth, you're not done. That man you used to be? He's still there, maybe quieter. Maybe buried under years of stress, poor sleep, skipped meals, ignored symptoms. But not gone. And what if I told you that one small thing, a square of dark chocolate, a 10-minute walk, a decision to say, I want more, could start bringing him back? This isn't about chasing youth. This is about claiming strength. Not because you want to impress anyone, but because you miss yourself. You miss feeling alive. You miss waking up with energy. You miss walking into a room knowing you still matter. That you still carry something powerful, something only a man your age can understand. And no, the world doesn't talk about it. It celebrates the young while quietly forgetting the ones who built everything. But not here, not this video. Here we see you, we know you. We know the battles you fought, and we're here to help you win this one too. So try the habit. Not because it's magic, but because you are. Because your body still responds when you care for it. Because your blood still flows when you move with purpose. Because your pride still burns when you decide not to fade. And when you feel even 5% better tomorrow. When you wake up and notice even a flicker of that old energy, remember this moment. This video. This choice. That's all it takes to begin again. And if this message hit you somewhere deep, you're not alone. Others feel it too. Maybe your best friend, maybe your brother, maybe someone you haven't talked to in years. Share it with them quietly, powerfully, because sometimes one video can start something bigger than either of you imagined.